G'day cocktail lovers. To round out my martini week, I thought I'd get a little dirty. And yes, I've talked about dirty martinis during the week. I haven't made one, and I'm going to make one here, and I wanted to share with you a couple secret weapons I have that I picked up relatively recently. Quite often when I'm talking about the ingredients for a martini, I'll recommend a dry gin. That's my go-to. You can go with gins that have the profile that you like. I'll normally say dry, but recently I picked this up. And I did talk about this in my recent video about Australian gins, which you should check out if you want to know about some gins. This is actually, it's like a saline profile in this. They actually used some pink salt from an inland lake to come up with both the colouring and a bit of the flavour profile on this gin, which makes it very interesting. And as I mentioned when I talked about it before, the distiller at the Patient Wolf Distillery is his ideal martini gin, basically. This is a joint venture they did with Mount Zero Olives, who helped them harvest the pink salt. So I've got a little grab bag of Mount Zero Olives. They're obviously going to come in handy for a dirty martini, so we'll be seeing that again soon. But that wasn't my other secret ingredient, because I think olives are a pretty open ingredient. It's this. Often I'll put orange bitters in a martini. This is from the Japanese bitters company. They call this their umami bitters. It has some interesting elements that give it the umami flavour, namely kelp, shiitake mushrooms, and dried bonito, which is a sort of fish, though not vegan. But this is not as salty as, say, olive brine, but has a more complex umami salt flavour going on in there. And I've already tried it, spoiler alert, makes a great dirty martini. Now you have to ask yourself the question, are you filthy dirty or just a little bit dirty? Because that's going to dictate how salty you make your martini. If you're only a little bit dirty, you don't need any more than this. I wouldn't put a huge amount of this bitters in or it might overpower, but I have on occasion put some of this bitters and some olive brine in. I think I'll just, when I make my martini, get an olive out, and there'll be a bit of extra brine in there, and that'll be a good level of dirty for me. But feel free, you can always add more olive brine, or if you're using cocktail onions, the brine from the cocktail onion jar, whatever works for you. Here's how I'm making the dirty martini. In my mixing glass, putting 2 to 2.5 ounces of my Pink Lake gin, and then I'm putting 10 mils of a dry vermouth in there, and I'm just doing 1 dash of the umami bitters. Then we add ice to the glass. I'm going to stir that for 20 to 25 seconds to get the drink good and chilled, which I think is a really important element of a martini, and that dilution needs to be in there as well. Then I'm going to strain it into a chilled martini glass, and then I'll drop in an olive, which will bring in a little bit more brine as well, just adding a little bit extra dirty in there. We even have a little glow from the pink gin, and let's go just a little bit dirty. I'm just a little bit dirty. You might be filthy dirty. I don't judge. However you have your dirty martini, go ahead and enjoy it. I think it's a little treat. And look, the olive, is that a fruit? I think that almost makes this health food, quite honestly. So, get some more fruit in your diet, have a dirty martini. I've only got 1 olive. Look, put 3 olives. That's gonna make it even healthier, and you'll probably enjoy it more. I hope to see you again soon. Until then, cheers.